Hello, what's going on, everybody? It is yours truly, Dakota. I'm not doing that Culper D thing anymore. But yeah, it's me, Brother Rollins. So, why no videos for 5 months? Well, because I was serving a mission. Um, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My mission call came in back in October. I departed in November, and that's why there wasn't any videos for 5 months. And normally a mission is 2 years, but I'm home early, medical release. So I'm just trying to figure some things out, figure what's wrong. And I didn't really think I'd be making any more videos, but that wouldn't really be fair to you guys who enjoy them, and all that fun stuff. So I just kind of wanted to do a quick little kind of mini review, just a little quick overview of the new Zayn album. I know it's been out for a month now, but I did want to touch on it a little bit since, being a One Direction fan, and I made a video a while back about, Zayn and 1D when they split up. Who are you interested to see most in their career? Who are you? Just not pick sides, but just where did you stand on the whole thing, and what were you curious to see happen with them? And so Zayn put out a solo album about a month ago, when I was still on my mission, and I picked it up. I haven't listened to every single minute of it. I've listened to a lot of it, some tracks more than others, and I just kind of wanted to, not do a super in-depth detail review on it, but just kind of give my thoughts about it, because it has been a while since I've done a video. I feel like this album is... Well, I feel like Zayn is... Let me rephrase that. I feel like Zayn is kind of doing a lot of what's already being done. And, that is just, a teen pop star who's now maturing. Who, the fans have kind of grown up with them, and now they're maturing, and he's trying to have a more mature, edgy sound now that he's getting older and indulging in some more things that young adults indulge in, unfortunately. And he's just trying to play the bad boy card that a lot of other artists are trying to play. We've seen it with artists all the time, but more recently, Chris Brown, when he came out 10 years ago, and then he, has gotten a lot edgier, more bad boy. Of course, Justin Bieber, and a handful of other artists, Miley Cyrus as well, kind of went down that path. And so Zayn is no exception. This is kind of his, breakaway, breaking the chains, so to speak, album, and this is who I really am, and his angsty, emotional, whatever you have it, and it went in this direction of what we're just really saturated with right now in the music industry, and that is this art pop, kind of atmospheric, neo R&B, cloudy pop thing that is just, very nebulous in production, and so one-track mind in concept. This whole album really is just everything else that is kind of in the independent pop scene and some of the more experimental pop and R&B artists right now. It's the same stuff of the duality of love, the hating, being empty, but this kind of emotional sadomasochism that is taken on, and this is just in so many other albums. It's like in Miguel's music, it's in Banks. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not feeling it anymore, really, to be honest. Zayn has vocal chops, but this album I just don't feel like is an album that really showcases the chops that he truly has. He does a little bit, with his falsetto on the It's You track, but the production on that is just a little bit too off-kilter and a little bit too strange for me. And kind of this whole album is, too. It's very just... weird. It's very weird and off kilter and strange at times, and kind of just feels like a, you know, just kind of like a marijuana and alcohol induced make out heavy petting session that is just kind of sickening, because it's just so saturated, and it really is the it thing. Like, this music is just the it thing right now. This is what everyone's trying to do, and the problem is not everyone can pull it off. And I don't know, I feel like this album is kind of a little bit more raunchy version of the concept that Justin Bieber's last album was kind of trying to have, like that breakaway, like, you know, we need each other for pleasure, but not really for emotional connection kind of thing. But Zayn just made it a little bit more dirtier and threw some more, you know, profanities in there. And, you know, like I said, just so many songs on this album sound alike. I mean, I'm gonna give him credit because it's hard. You know, it was a big step to say, you know, to step away from one direction, which you know will be successful, and to really try to come into the music industry as your own artist, and break away from, you know, the security net, and try and make that step and say, like, this is not me anymore, I'm going somewhere else. That's brave, and I admire that step. But if this is what he wanted to do, I just don't think this suits him. You know, there are so many other musical styles that suit him better, and I'm not saying he's horrible on this, but it's just not, just doesn't capture your attention like you'd hope it would. I think Zayn sounds better with more bubblegummy pop stuff. I think he sounds better with more traditional R&B instead of the experimental new wave R&B that we're going through right now. I also think where Zayn could have really shined, and something that would have, like a style that would really suit him, is kind of like Nick Jonas's last solo album. Songs like Chains and Jealous, Zayn would have fit perfectly on. Not that Nick didn't execute them well, but I think Zayn being on those kinds of songs that are just a little bit more suitable for mainstream, and just a little bit more toned down and not as carnally charged, I think would be a lot better, and I think it would have been more of a success. I don't know where Zayn's going to go with this, because I think that even though I enjoyed some things on here, and people who have been One Direction fans and will buy this to support him, I just don't see him getting a lot of fans outside of that because of this album. Maybe a few, you know, probably not, but it's in this weird realm. You know, that would be hard to capture a new demographic, a new fan base, and yeah, I don't foresee another Zayn solo album, and if there is one, I don't think it's going to be for a long time. I think he's going to have to give some time for himself and for the listening public to kind of forget about this solo endeavor, so that when he comes back, it's different, it's fresh, and people don't try to compare it to this album. I think the quality, like the clarity of it's good, but it's just kind of repetitive, and you know, just really, it's like it's a little more glacial than I hoped it was. Not as booming, or not as much of a statement as I would hope Zayn would make as a solo artist. That's what I feel about that. So, hope everyone enjoyed, and hey, God be with you till we meet again. You know?